And the first reason Jesus gives is this, that God expects us to serve. There is actually an expectation. It's not an optional choice for someone that's a follower of Jesus, whether it's convenient for your life and my life, or we like to serve or we don't like to serve. No, this is something that Jesus requires and looks at of his followers, is that we would actually have hands that serve him like he was when he was here. The background a little bit to this, I enjoy that Jesus gets right to it, but a little bit of the background here is that when Jesus is starting this parable, oftentimes Jesus would wait to the end of a parable to tell really the reason why he's telling it. Here in this passage, if you listen to what I was saying, Jesus starts up front and gives the reason for why he's telling the parable. He says in the first verse here, just to remind you, he went on to tell the people a parable because he was near Jerusalem and the people thought the kingdom of God was going to appear at once. What's he saying there? Well, oftentimes, even the disciples sometimes wrestle with this. Followers that were with Jesus oftentimes wanted him to do other things than what he actually came to do. Israel at this time that Jesus is here on earth is oppressed or led by the Roman Empire, the most powerful empire in the day. And so the Jews expected a Messiah to come, but not just lead them in a spiritual sense. They wanted them to lead them in a physical sense. They wanted Jesus to be crowned king, raise up an army, push back the Roman rulers and oppressors, and really establish his reign here on earth. That's what they wanted Jesus to do. But Jesus knew that really the biggest problem that Israel had was not a physical problem, but was a spiritual problem. Jesus didn't want to just become a ruler on earth. He wanted to become ruler of their hearts. And so he knew that, hey, there will be a time where Jesus will come to reign in the fullness of his kingdom here on earth. That will come after the second coming. But for the first time that Jesus came, he came to bring an introduction to his kingdom, a start to what his kingdom would do, and explain, as he did to Nicodemus, Nicodemus, you need to be born again for you to experience the kingdom, the fullness, and the forgiveness that comes from God. So they want him to be this king, ruler, come and set them free from Rome, and they expect him to do it right now. And Jesus is like, let me help you understand that I'm going to do some stuff right now. But the way that you expect me to rule is going to happen a long time down the road. So let me teach you how you should respond while I'm away. Hey, can I tell you something? Jesus is both here right now. When two or more amongst you, he is there, and he's also away. Jesus, after he rose from the dead, was seen by hundreds of people and ascended into heaven. The physical Jesus is not present right here, right now. You know why? Because he's in heaven at the right hand of the Father. All power and authority is in his hands. And that same Jesus, who's the nobleman in this parable, called 10 servants. If you are a follower of Jesus this morning, let me tell you something. You are called. You're called. You're called to be a servant. You're called a friend. You're called a son or daughter of the Most High. You're called to go and share the good news of Jesus. You're called to serve and be his hands and feet. You have a calling upon your life. You're not random to God. You're not unknown to God. He not only knows the hair count on your head, but he's called you into his mission in alignment with his kingdom to serve him. About 3 months worth of salary. He said, hey, you 10 servants, 3 months, that would have been nice, right? 3 months of salary, 3 months of salary, 3 months of salary. And he entrusts them with giftings. He entrusts them with a gift, with a purpose that they're going to take this gift and bring back a greater return. Each and every one of us in this room have been entrusted. 1 Peter 4:10 says, talking to Christians, each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace.